Hello, my name is Tidi Madia and welcome to News 24. This is part of our election coverage. We've been bringing you coverage from here. I am at the IEC's Rock Center. That's the Results Operations Center where we bring you again live coverage of what's happening. So you've got politicians, you've got the numbers that you can see at the far back there. We're trying to tell you the South African story to see where do South Africans want the country to go? Who do they want to see in charge and leading us towards, I'm not sure if it's a promised land, but to a better future at least. I'm currently speaking to one of those many political figures who are featured on the board right now. Patricia de Lille joins me now. She's the leader of Good. You've been in existence for 5 months.
Yes.
And I saw not too long ago you've made it to Parliament. The first seat is solidly there. Congratulations. How does that feel? How does that feel at a time where smaller parties are struggling, but Good knows for a fact that, look, we're already in?
I must first of all say thank you to all the voters that have expressed the confidence and that have voted for us. For me, every single vote that we receive is a victory. If we receive some seats, it's a victory for us because we've only started 5 months ago.
Yeah.
But, that's the beauty of our multi-party democracy. Multi-party democracy is about contestation of ideas. And we came with the idea, put it to the electorate, that we want to mobilize good people, that want to see a good country. Good people are not racist, that we must now do something to fix our country and produce a plan. Because also if good people don't do anything, then that is why all the wrong things happen. And I must say that message resonated with many people across the country. And so now we've come at the end of the campaign. This is just the basis of the foundation for going forward to the 2021 elections.
Tell me, Auntie Pat, how important is the role of leadership? Because I don't believe that without you, Good would have actually gotten this far. This is a feat. Whether you agree with Good's policies or ideas or you don't understand them, you've got to give praise to the fact that this is a feat. Smaller parties, again, who started long before you, are still, some can't even make it to 10,000 votes. Is it a lot about the leadership that's guiding the ship, or is it about the people that you worked with and what they're doing on the ground?
Well, it is certainly an issue of two brands, the Patricia de Lille brand and the Good brand, but what we use it tactically to leverage the one of the other. And that's why we've been able to make lots of inroads, because it's also about, credibility, but people also want to see passion. And one of the things that inspired me every morning when I got out to go on campaign was to say we also need to deal with this toxic masculinity of just having all male leaders. Look at that board there. You can go from the top down, it's all of those ugly faces, and then you get to the first woman, and that's me. Now, we don't just want to see more women representation in Parliament. We don't just want to see more dresses in Parliament. We want to see women in leadership. And South Africa's political scenario is very, very male-dominated. So I'm going there. I'm not afraid of any one of them.
I don't think you are.
They will not be intimidating me. I will help them to shift the boys from the men, and then do it for women, because women can do it.
Tell me where we went wrong. We're looking at a 1994 ballot paper from the elections in 1994, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And when we looked at it, was amazed at the amount of females who featured on that ballot paper.
Yeah.
Where did we go wrong to a point where we pretty much have you and we have women forward? And that's kind of it. Where did we go wrong as a country as far as women representation and leadership as far as political parties are concerned?
But I think we need to look ourselves as women too.
Okay, sure.
For you to get elected into a position, first of all, you must put yourself forward. And then you have to play by the rules of the game. In politics, you don't have rules for women or rules for men. They are just the rules. And you just need to get in there and play by those rules. And we need to encourage more women. That's why you need more role models. Encourage more women to come forward. And I think there are lots of young ones now that are ready to do it.
I want to speak a little bit more about the election results that we're seeing. I think it's just under 60% right now, around 60% that have been counted so far. I want to speak about your former political party, because some in the DA want to put some blame on you, apportion some blame on you for what happened, saying, one, you muddied their name when there was a back and forth battle between the DA and Patricia de Lille when you're still a member. Two, they think you took some people. Initially they said you wouldn't make a dent, but some are now saying actually Patricia has damaged that slightly or to some extent. What do you make of those kind of claims?
I always say, God forgive the fools, because they don't know what they are saying or doing. They must not just leave me alone.
Yes.
And have some introspection. Look to themselves first. It is not me. I've become the victim of abuse. And so the abuser, you cannot rehabilitate the abuser. That's why they're still going on with it. And they need to go and find out. I put an idea forward to the elected with a plan, not necessarily targeting to get DA voters, but targeting good South Africans to come out there and vote. I really don't care about them anymore. I'm busy designing the new phase of my, next phase of my life. And I want to be positive. I love this country. I want to build this country. While they are trying to pull us down, it's all, you could never hear. That's why I said they need introspection. It was always how bad is the ANC, how bad is this one, how bad is... You could never hear what they are going to do for the country. So no, they mustn't blame me. I'm not there anymore. Thanks
That's
God.
That, baby. Auntie Pat, let's speak about some of the issues that have risen from these particular elections.
Yeah.
The IEC finds itself in a very tricky position with
Yes.
a lot of the small parties not even asking for an audit. Some want a full audit, though the IEC proposed a sample audit, and others want a complete rerun. Where do you stand in this argument?
Part of the problem that I picked up here from the... Now, they were already branding me the biggest of the small parties, whatever that's supposed to be. That some of the small parties are not happy because they have got their votes, because you get your votes that the party agents sign off immediately after the elections. But it's just the change in figures seem only to happen with the bigger parties. But I think the IEC has dealt with that one now. The one in terms of this indelible ink.
Yes.
We had a meeting with the IEC at earlier this afternoon, and the IEC committed themselves to investigate. They've already laid charges against some of the people, and that they will come back to us before Saturday. They've also committed themselves to do an audit, a random audit, and I thought all political parties agreed to it. Because such a big operation, you'll never find a perfect election anywhere.
No. Yes.
But for me, what is important is that will these allegations, will it materially affect the outcome of the elections? Because you can see the trend there on the board. And if that trend must just switch like that because of these allegations, then we must be of concern. But I trust the IEC will investigate and come back to us. They've been very open and transparent.
I think they have been for the most part. Do you also think, though, that there's a need by the IEC to pause and also introspect on how it's been going about its business? I mean, it's one of those institutions that's never had its credibility questioned since 1994.
Yes.
Does this call for time for the IEC to pause and look at how it does things? I mean, some can even complain that the Concord's issues from 2016 still have not been fully dealt with. Our voters' roll does not have the address. It's not actually compliant with the constitution of the country as we speak still.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. If you use the same old business plan, you get to the same results. They need to change the methodology of planning, and I think we need to overlay a lot of our decisions with digital and with technology, because that's where the rest of the world is going. So the IEC must really also take stock after this. You can't continue to operate the way they've been operating. But the credibility for this current election result will now become in question. And that's why it's a test for them to show how they're going to find a solution.
I was looking at your thumb. I don't know if you can see my indelible mark. It's
Yes.
slightly there. I voted on Monday. I voted a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I saw yours is quite clear. There was this issue because you and I have nail polish. That's what I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Yes.
Did you have an issue about marking your nails? Because I didn't. I was quite taken aback when I started hearing people saying they were being told to scrap off their nail polish. And I was like, I've never
No,
experienced
it's
such a
not.
thing. Have you heard of anything like that?
No. I just asked them to make mine that way instead of over the nail
Oh.
polish, and they listened to
There
me.
was no issue.
No issue.
It's a very strange. 2019 is a strange year, strange election with
Yeah.
many strange outcomes. Thank you for chatting to us. But I also want to
Thank
chat
you,
to you
Tizzy.
about, before I let you go, I want to chat to you about the role, in Parliament, because now that's a definite, What is it that you're going to seek to do differently from all your previous roles? Because you've been there before a number of times. They call you a political chameleon in some circles. You reinvent yourself. What is the role now in the 6th administration for Patricia de Lille and for good in the National Assembly?
We've already started by putting up a corruption desk. I've so far received 5 emails with corruption complaints.
That's very quick.
I've got another 4 from different municipalities across the country. And so we're going to focus on that and exposing corruption. The second issue that I'm passionate about is spatial integration. I feel that all of us collectively failed to deal with the apartheid spatial planning, and I will certainly be pushing integration in all the towns and cities across our country. I will go to them and illustrate how we've continued with apartheid spatial planning, and then agitate for land to be released, because public land must be used for public good. So those are 2 of my priorities. And then on the other hand is the one about women. Feminization of poverty. Poverty's got a face. It's a woman of color, it's a black woman. But even when women are working, they are not getting equal pay for equal work. And that's also going to be part of my drive to take that on. Because we must break the cycle of poverty. If the mother was poor, then the daughter will be poor. And to me,
It just
this
isn't working. We kind of have a vicious cycle.
it's a cycle. It's a cycle, but the solution is education.
I think many South Africans
Yeah.
agree with you, and that's why I'm going to leave it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's the leader of Good, Patricia de Lille, who stopped by at the News 24 studio here at the Rock, the IC's Rock Center. We're quickly going to cross to the floor, but when we come back, we'll chat to Ronald Lamola from the ANC, NWC member, NEC member. We'll catch up with him a little bit later.